Hello, degenerates and weirdos online. Welcome to the Warzone. I'm Scruffy, and this is Scruffy Tales. And we're gonna be taking a look at how Ukraine keeps pushing into Toretsk. We're gonna also take a look at what's happening in Glushkovo and that Tetkino incursion, because Ukraine has grabbed some more territory in Kursk and at Bahatyr. It does appear as if Russia did not secure the town, even if they were dropping flags all over the place. They are now shelling the town again, indicating that it's full of Ukrainians. And then we're going to take a look at Toretsk, where we can see Ukrainians trying to push further into the city itself. Right, so as per usual, starting off here with Andrew Perpetua's map, updated 4 hours ago as of recording the video, zooming in on Tetkino, or rather Glushkovo, I should say, Glushkovo Rayon, Glushkovo County. We can see we have a Ukrainian Bradley destroyed trying to push into Tetkino. Russian motorcycle destroyed. Not sure what's going on here. Maybe it's reconnaissance. You're trying to push down to find out what's going on the Ukrainian side of the border. But this is not the interesting part. This is at Noviput. Ukraine has expanded their area of control. Not by much. We shouldn't, make it out being more than what it is. But it is what it is indication that Ukraine has pushed through the border at Noviput and secured territory. You can see Russian airstrikes in this forested area here. What is around here where you had, around here where you had a previous breach point where you have an opening in the dragon teeth and the minefields. So obviously Ukraine has managed to push in and push through and are now contesting this small village here or farm along the railroad, as well as pushing in. This is of course a natural piece of terrain, this patch of forest here, where you can hide troops and build up supplies and kind of fortify if you dig in good enough, well enough in this square forest. So Ukraine has expanded their hold in Glushkovo County yet again, ever so slightly. We can also see over here at Loknia we have a big push from the Russians coming out of Basivka. Lots of Ukrainian drone strikes as Russia is trying to push into Yunakivka. Let's see how far that push is. We'll say they start out in Basivka and then they push down to where you have so 4 to 4.5 kilometers. And if we go by the map, then it's 4 kilometers. So a reasonable push by this war standard, nothing major, but it's a big push nonetheless. And as you can see, the Ukrainians have followed the Russians as they have pushed southwards. And I'm going to have to tell the dog to be quiet. So that the dog was chasing the goddamn cats. Anyway, gonna return to Toretsk in a short moment. We're gonna kick off or start off this southern front with moving to Bahatyr, Myrnorod, Pokrovsk, and moving down. Here we have Bahatyr. Remember, all the Vatniks, they said, haha, we conquered it a couple of days ago. Yet, if Russia conquered it, why the hell are they shelling it? Right? So they pushed in. Ukraine made some counter moves back and forth. Russia moved in with a bunch of flags that were dropped by drones. Also soldiers held up flags, but that was right before Ukraine made the counter push. Back and forth, back and forth. Russia's shelling the town like crazy again, and it is contested. Like I said, it's a highly fluid battle within this town. No one knows what's happening. But if we have Russian shelling, it's safe to say that Russia is not in control of the town, right? So all the Vatniks that pooped their pants out of joy that Bahatyr had fallen, I'm sorry. Russia is bombing Bahatyr. They are also bombing Oleksiivka. If that is an indication that Russia is about to push in, maybe, or they are trying to weaken Bahatyr by attacking the reinforcements and supply depots that is helping out with the fight in Bahatyr. So, or it's both. They're attacking troops in Oleksiivka that are supporting the fight in Bahatyr. They're also bombing Odradne here, the small village, probably for the same reason. But so they're attacking support units that help out in Bahatyr, and that also weakens, as it happens, Oleksiivka. That might provide an opening for Russia to move through this part of the battlefield to try and reach Oleksiivka. We'll see what happens down here, but at the moment, like I said in my previous video there, map frontline update video, that Bahatyr is a highly fluid battlefield, and just because Russia puts down flags, that doesn't mean anything. We'll see what happens in the next couple of days. Moving north, take a look what has happened here. Now this is old stuff, right? Yeah, not much has happened up there. Sorry for that. Interestingly, here we can see how Russia is expanding, taking Novopoltavka, pushing up towards the tactical pig farms. Boom! Here you can see they've already taken 2 of the tactical pig farms. Russian BTR damaged as it was trying to push up. You're now shelling the next tactical pig farm. Russia has taken 2 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 of the tactical pig farms. So we'll see if they can push on through. These tactical pig farms, they are controlling a vital part of the battlefield. You have all these valleys leading up to where you have the pig farms up on some slight elevation. You also have the main country road that leads straight up to Shakova, and all those vital bridges at Shakova. And if Russia wants to push on through to outflank Shevchenko-Perche to reach Popiev Yar, Koptieve, they need to take these tactical pig farms. It's also, they want the road leading to Shakova. And they're trying to reach Myrne and Mykolaiv as well. This is important for the Russians, and I'll show you quickly why they want to move to Shakova. Well, I can show you this why Shakova is important. It is because of the bridges here. You have the I keep repeating myself, but I get new viewers every now and then, and they don't know what I've said in previous videos, so deal with it. River, Shakova, bunch of bridges. Russia wants Shakova. It denies Ukraine the use of the bridges, and it allows Russia to push across the bridges, right? So you cut Ukrainian logistics while also gaining access to the far side of the river, coming in north of Mirnorod and Pokrovsk. And you also, just like south of Pokrovsk, you secure territory where you can position artillery that can shell Mirnorod and Pokrovsk, and you can shell all these vital road networks that Ukraine will rely on to support Pokrovsk and Mirnorod. Same thing down south. If you start positioning artillery all over the place here, you can shell the supply lines leading into Pokrovsk, and you can shell Ukrainian positions within the town and surrounding it. So that's that. Yeah, now let's head over to the interesting port here in Toretsk. Still on Andrew's map here. And that is this Russian drone attack here in the suburbs of Krymske. We already have Ukrainians being attacked up here in these buildings. We have Russians pushing in with infantry into these buildings to clear them out. This was kind of funny. Out of nowhere, you have Russian motorcycle assault. Here's the Russian assault into the mining facility. Driving straight past everything going on here at the mine, going into the valley, and getting destroyed in the end. That was kind of hilarious. No clue what happened here. They just thundering past everything, going through Ukrainian lines. Because remember what I said, if Ukraine is here, it's difficult for Russia to support their troops in the valley. And I guess the solution was to do a Leroy Jenkins on motorcycles and just drive straight through the Ukrainian positions, reach the valley, and then end up getting your ass kicked. Anyway, so pushing ahead here to the 19th, you can see Russian drone attacks in the suburbs of Krimsk. Ukraine pushing into the exterior of the mining facility. I think that we are seeing an indication that Ukraine is trying to push in to the outskirts here, the suburbs of Toretsk, coming in from the north, slowly but surely chipping away. They were over here the other day, then a few days ago here, and now they have moved down here where we have Russian drone attacks on the outskirts of town. And you know me, I like to draw arrows on the maps because I figure 95% of all YouTubers covering Ukraine that draw lines on maps, well, you know, if they can do it, so can I, because they basically don't know what the hell they're talking about, and well, I don't either. So why shouldn't I draw arrows on a map if they are, right? So I'm gonna do it, and so we're gonna explain slightly what's happening here in Toretsk. On the 8th, we're leaning towards 12 days ago. We're closing 2 weeks ago. We saw Ukraine pushing into these. What the hell happened here? Into these buildings. They also took control of these buildings. They were operating along this street. This is where they came in. As you can see, they took control of these buildings, and they later on, shortly after, took control of these buildings. So this is where Ukraine pushed in with a thunder blitz, coming down this way here, dropping off troops as they went along, and then over time, we saw Russia shelling Ukrainian positions. Ukraine was countering with drones, and I think it was on the 15th. So, a couple of days ago by now, that has to be said, is when we saw Russia shelling this area. So, are the Ukrainians still there? We don't know. We know that Russia's tried to push into these buildings, but Ukraine has countered these pushes with the drones. But what's going on here in the center of town is very unsure. This square here is where you have some important high-rise buildings in this square that Ukraine would want. If Ukraine can grab this square, they basically control the entirety of the city. They can have overwatch on the entire city, guide drones, guide artillery for very effective, accurate strikes. And I've been waiting for Ukraine to make a push towards the center to support these guys who are surrounded and on their own. And not much has happened until, as I said, now, when Ukraine began pushing in up here into this mining facility. And now, all of a sudden, it does appear as if Ukraine has pushed in here as well. This might be an indication that Ukraine is trying to come in from up here to reach the center of town instead of coming through here as I initially thought. Now, I thought that Ukraine wanted to secure this part of town, because it kind of felt like it, that they were isolating this part of town by taking the center and the buildings up here, making it difficult for Russia to push through. So I've been waiting. When is something happening? When are they going to make the push to try and reach the center and relieve these guys? Maybe that is what's happening at the moment. Maybe the push up here is that effort to try and push into the center of town, coming down the main avenue past the football pitch here in the end, hopefully. But right now, action seems to be happening up here. Ukraine is pushing into the mining facility, pushing into the outskirts of town, and we'll see where it goes. But Ukraine is making an effort in this part of town quite clearly. And that's it for this time around. I hope you found it interesting. I hope I'll see you in the next one. As always, go på marsch Ukraine and give them hell.